DayBreak, Chapter 7, Part 2. Twilight Sparkle flapped her wings to slow her descent. She sighed. The protesters were already picketing City Hall, and of course, Miss Mary Mare, former mayor of Ponyville, was already preaching to her own personal choir through a magically enhanced megaphone.
"It's autumn, Ponyville,"
she said.
"and still there is no word from Applejack whether she will restore the Nightmare Night celebration. Are we to just lie down and take it, while such a culturally important event is set aside for the selfish desires of our mayor?"
The crowd shouted no.
"What will become of our fillies and colts if they are deprived of candy, of the opportunity to showcase the costumes that they've worked so hard for?"
Mary Mare gripped her podium.
"All in the name of roads that have not seen an iota of improvement."
Twilight Sparkle groaned. She nudged her way through the crowd, making sure to bump as many ponies aside as possible. She stood up next to the podium and cleared her throat. Mary Mare then narrowed her eyes behind her glasses.
"May I help you, Princess?" "Why, I would love to speak,"
Twilight said, taking the megaphone from Mary.
"Attention, ponies of Ponyville! The Nightmare Night celebration is not in fact cancelled, nor was it ever, nor will it ever be, thanks to Princess Luna.
She smirked at Mary Mare.
What is happening is that due to budget constraints, there will not be a complimentary apple bobbing game or a band from out of town. Instead, all activities and entertainments will be provided by individual citizens of Ponyville. Also, I hear that Pinkie Pie's taken a personal interest in organizing trick-or-treating this year."
Mary scowled. She reached for the megaphone, but Twilight turned away to address a different portion of the crowd.
"By the way,"
Twilight said,
"there's also free ice cream to any pony here who brings me a poison joke flower today. Thank you."
Twilight turned off the megaphone and set it onto the pedestal, and walked into City Hall, leaving a quietly fuming Mary Mare to address a few very confused ponies. Inside, at a desk marked Assistant Mayor, Pinkie Pie tapped away at a typewriter. She muttered to herself at a volume just below shouting.
"Then we could take a loop around the Berryboro cul-de-sac, which would just about double our candy intake, followed by a trip down Main Street and finally ending at..."
She looked up with a start.
"Twilight, you're here! You'd better go in right away."
Twilight lifted a hoof.
"Is it serious?" "I dunno, but Applejack looks nervous enough to eat her own hat."
Pinkie climbed over her desk and took Twilight's foreleg.
"They won't let me go inside. They say it's secret." "They?"
Twilight's brow furrowed.
"They who?" "I don't know."
Pinkie waved as Twilight opened the door.
"If it's a monster, kick its butt for me."
Twilight giggled as she shut the door. Applejack sat behind her desk, her hat clutched firmly to her chest. A cloaked pony sat in one of the two seats in front of the mayor's desk, so Twilight took the other seat.
"Hey, Applejack, what's up?"
The cloaked pony removed her hood, revealing Princess Luna.
"What's up is that Andean is coming for a visit."
Twilight Sparkle blinked.
"Oh."
She looked at Applejack, who had twisted her hat in a knot at the sound of the Griffin King's name.
"Oh. I believe his visit may have something to do with Celestia's predicament."
Luna shrugged.
"Whether he had something to do with it, or is merely coming to offer condolences, it offers us a challenge either way."
Twilight idly began to chew on her mane.
"Isn't this the same king who almost started war over dinner?" "Well, it ain't quite the same exact situation, but pretty much."
Applejack's hollow chuckle did nothing to lift her spirits.
"He's cooled down a little since then, hasn't he?" "Perhaps a bit. Trade has stabilized for when many years it was touch and go."
Luna leaned forward.
"It may have something to do with the new weapons Felicia has been producing."
Twilight Sparkle rubbed the base of her horn.
"He wants to show off." "It is possible, though as the show of force or demonstration of a new product, I cannot speculate."
Luna rested a hoof on Twilight's foreleg.
"However, that is not quite why I called you to this meeting. His visit offers an opportunity."
Twilight patted Luna's hoof.
"How so?" "Well, he would no doubt be expecting some sort of welcoming party."
Luna waved a hoof.
"A ball or a dinner or some sort of shindig. I believe that if we throw such a party, it may attract other attention."
Twilight sucked in a breath.
"The assassin."
Luna nodded.
"Celestia was attacked during an opera, so if Hurricane was willing to attempt such a ploy during a public show, then how much more so will she try again during a grand ball?"
Twilight shifted in her seat.
"She would have to know that security will be 12 times higher, not only with a royal guard, but also Andean's blitz wings. She would be crazy to attack." "Well, she was also crazy enough to attack Celestia."
Applejack shut her eyes tight and bit her lip.
"That ain't all, Twilight." "What do you mean, Applejack?"
Twilight asked.
Applejack knows the king best out of all of us.
Luna pulled her cloak tighter.
It was she who spent the most time with him during the event of the Sapients, after all. Though I must play the host. After a certain time has passed, Applejack will distract Indian, while I go off to somewhere less guarded. There, I shall act as bait, and Hurricane shall come.
Twilight jumped up and grabbed Luna's shoulder.
Wait, hold on. And then you and your team shall jump out and subdue her.
Luna smiled calmly.
You may have your doubts about my abilities, but unlike my sister, I shall be prepared. I don't doubt your abilities, but I doubt that using yourself as bait is the best plan here. How else can we flesh out that fiend, Twilight?
Luna stood up to her full height. Her starry mane flowed out from beneath her cloak.
She must be stopped, and if I am to put myself in harm's way, then so be it. I'm already in danger.
Applejack tapped her hooves together.
I think she's on the right track, Twi. You want to catch a critter, you gotta use the right bait.
She then gave Luna a stern look.
I just better find out that that bait's still alive by the end of the day. Thankfully, this is not fishing.
Luna rubbed her chin.
But we still need the right hook. So, do we have any ideas on a celebration? As cliche as it might sound, what about a Nightmare Night Masquerade? Much as it would give this hurricane fella a chance to blend in.
Applejack smoothed out her old hat and plopped it onto her head.
There is such thing as making things too easy for him. But I do see an opportunity for plainclothed guards.
Luna nodded.
I shall consider it. Thank you for agreeing to help, Lord Mayor. Just Applejack to friends, Princess.
Applejack bowed.
I guess I'll see you gals this weekend? That's when the party is, right? That's when Indian is coming, yes.
Luna covered her head with her hood. Her body shrunk down to the size of an average pony.
Twilight, would you walk with me?
Applejack leaned on her elbow.
I guess I'd better make an appearance for the protesters. With luck, they'll be digging around the Everfree for blue flowers to exchange for ice cream.
Twilight snickered.
I'd better buy a pint or two just in case if they are that dumb.
Applejack tilted her head, her eyes lit up with realization.
You'd better keep that junk the hay away from Sweet Apple Acres here, cause I ain't fixing on shrinking again anytime soon.
Twilight grinned as she slid through the door.
Goodbye, Appletini. Oh, go on before I kick you out.
Applejack took a large green stamp and thumped it down on the first of several requests. Twilight Sparkle and Princess Luna walked side by side through the city streets. Twilight then nibbled on a strand of her mane.
So I guess the disguise is because of the assassin? I cannot very well walk around in full view of every pony, no.
Luna's hood bowed.
It would put the ponies around me in danger.
Luna walked in silence for a few more steps.
I have news of Celestia.
Twilight nearly jumped out of her skin. She trembled as she kept her nervous energy from spilling out.
How is she? She is... dreaming.
Luna sighed.
She is reliving her memories, one by one, day by day. She's seeing each one as if for the very first time.
Her steady hoof patters faltered.
Even those that she fought so hard to overcome. She's being crushed by sorrow all over again.
Twilight felt tears well up.
Well, maybe it's part of the healing process. Do you think it could have something to do with her heart? Chance may have it.
Twilight's ears lay back.
Is there anything I could do to help? Yes, there is.
Beneath the hood, Luna's eyes grew hard.
Catch the assassin, bring her to justice, and make Celestia safe.
Twilight stopped. She wrapped her forelegs around Luna.
I will. I won't let you or her down.
Luna kissed the top of Twilight's head.
I know you won't.
Her horns shone with bright magic. Blue sparks descended around her.
I go to prepare, Twilight. I will see you later.
She vanished in a bright teleport. Twilight Sparkle stared at the now empty spot, sighing and returning to her castle. Care turned the throwing knife over in her telekinetic bubble. She flipped it over to look at both sides of the burn mark.
This is it. Yep.
Daring Do pulled a page of her sketchbook, showing the marking as they'd looked before the test.
Details match Hurricane's plates exactly. Sounds freaky, but Twilight said that this pony might actually be Commander Hurricane. That's what Princess Luna thought.
Care set it down in a padded case.
Brought here through the ages to kill alicorns, apparently. And not a single clue as to why.
Daring Do tugged at the ponytail her mane was tied up in.
You know what? If we run into her, feel free to interrogate her all you want, because I don't know how else we're gonna get answers.
The tea kettle whistled. Care walked through the kitchen and grabbed it with a hot pad.
One hot cocoa coming right up. One marshmallow or two. 3. If it don't fit, make it.
Daring scratched her cheek.
You know, if this gal is the real deal, maybe history has the answers.
Care rolled her eyes as she stirred a scoop of chocolate into the hot water.
What? What do we look for? Some book called Ye Old Expose? Why Commander Hurricane secretly hates alicorns? Well, it's never that easy.
Daring Do accepted her mug and took a swig.
But you'd be surprised of how much dirt you can find on the founders just by trolling through their diaries.
Care pulled her chair closer to Daring.
Now, how many did that? Well, Starswirl kept a journal, obviously.
Daring counted on her feathers.
Clover had a diary, but mostly full of diagrams for a bunch of magic enchantments and construction, real technical stuff. Chancellor Puddinghead never learned to write, but he did keep in contact with the Crystal Empire by dictating to Smart Cookie. And I think Princess Platinum had the minutes of the royal court read to her as a bedtime story every night, kinda like a sleep aid.
Care blew on her cocoa.
Or a way to make sure that he didn't miss anything.
Daring licked marshmallow fluff from her upper lip.
Huh, maybe.
Care did a mental head count.
So what about Hurricane and Pansy? Oh, Pansy wrote poetry. I don't think he recorded much of his own life down unless the poems are riddles.
Daring Do glanced over her shoulder.
But this right here's the freaky part.
She leaned over the table and motioned Care closer.
The Royal Library locked away everything that Hurricane touched.
Care let her mouth hang open in a scowl.
And why has no pony said anything before now? Because it's a secret her writing even survives. I don't even know if the princesses have read it. To be honest, maybe they even forgot about it.
Daring opened her eyes wide.
Some say that it was nearly destroyed in a fire. Some say it was enchanted to be unreadable. And some say it contains secret mortal ponies that we're not meant to know. Well, who are some?
Daring snorted.
The archivists. When all you have to do is shuffle books around all day, the mind wanders. Well, we can't go looking for a ghost story, Amber.
Care said.
This is serious. I'm being serious.
Daring Do tapped a hoof to Care's chest.
This is me being deadly serious. If we can't track down this mare, a lot of good ponies are in danger. So, when you find a better lead to go on, we'll follow that one. But until then, I think it's time that we ask Princess Luna for the key to the library vaults.
Care smoothed the orange hair on her chest.
And if it's nothing, then it's nothing. But at least we'd have something to rule out.
Daring popped the joints in her wings.
This, my fearless Captain Carrot, is where guard work meets field work. So enjoy the ride.
Care looked into her mug at the last of the frothy drink. She then raised it towards Daring.
To good success, then.
Daring Do grinned.
To good success.
They clinked the mugs and down the last of the drink. A bright flash filled the room, and they jumped up, sending their chairs to the floor, and assumed combat-ready positions. Twilight Sparkle walked out of a cloud of magic dust, and she blushed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
The two mares started to relax. Care picked up a chair while Daring crossed her forelegs.
So, Sparkle,
She said.
what's the word from the mayor?
Twilight Sparkle spread her wings and lowered her horn.
Pick out your Nightmare Night costume, girls.
She said, a determined smile sliding across her face.
We have got a plan.
If this plan actually does work, holla frickin' Luya. But if it doesn't, oh boy, I wonder how bad the damages are gonna be. Anyway, let's not speculate too much and let's get on to our legendary donators. Top donators, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, J Tin Man, Darkside, and Ponyman. Courier Crucii, Strix, Delta Omega, Runescythe 9852, Dospo, Rhynie Dragonwolf, Hunter Norman, Austin Roland, Secret Moon, Tall Rasha, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brethren Mordred, Cerberus, Goulash Eating Hazar, Ronin Wandering, Enderai 63, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, Dave D. Sanchez, Soul Dragon, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, Teal K. Anderson, TV Killer, John Becker, Leon Reynolds, Raven Speedster, Zach Krakow, Mr. ECU, and Leslie Prickett. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.